Hello, friends and enemies. It me, your boy, coming at you again with another video. I wanted to start this. I wanted to do this for a month, and I was going to start it on October, and I keep starting it and then not following through with it. And the thing is, now that I actually have showed a bunch of friends, I feel like if I don't move through with doing these things, then I'm just wasting everybody's time, especially mine. A quote to start this all off. If you want to save the world, start by saving yourself. Bryant McGill. And not only that, how about another one from Rumi? Never give from the depths of your well, but from your overflow. Both of these tell me the same exact thing, that before I can start helping you guys, I need to help myself. And I believe that helping myself, although, you know, a job and things like that is super important, as I mentioned in my last video, I believe that it's all going to start with my mental health and my physical health, my well-being with the person that I go to bed with every single night. I'm not talking about a partner, because even if there is someone in my bed or in your bed, you're still going to bed alone at the end of the day. Sorry, not sorry. Hopefully that doesn't cause too much existential dread, or maybe it's going to be the thing that motivates you to start changing things. Who knows? It certainly was for me. So, to start off, the things are going to change immediately is what I like to call creating a forward operating base of operations, your survival hut, call it whatever you want to call it. It's your immediate environment wherein you spend the majority of your day. Now, it can be your work cubicle, but luckily for me personally, I don't go to work in a traditional sense. I work from home. So for me, it's going to be my bedroom, my office, my living room, the places I spend the majority of my time. The reason this is it will legitimately affect your mental state. It will legitimately make you feel better if the places that you're spending the majority of your time in are clean and representable, and not even so much that it makes it easier to operate in those spaces. And again, I like to think of it as it being my base of operations, or my castle, my forward operating base, my command post. It's where I spend my time planning my next adventure. And I think that's how you need to start looking at it too. If this were Minecraft, how would you decorate your house? Would you just throw up random blocks all over the place with random furniture all over the place? Or would you make that bitch look nice? So that's where it's going to start. One of the things is going to start. The next thing we're going to get into is my sleep schedule. It needs to change quite a bit. Now I wouldn't say it's terrible at the moment. I'm actually sleeping in 2 4-hour chunks throughout the day, which I low-key really like. But at the same time, I don't feel the best about it. I'm really torn. I'm really torn between doing like a 4-hour sleep, like midnight or 1 to 4 or 5, and then doing another sleep at around noon, around lunch. But I'm thinking I might gear up to do just waking up at 9 every day and then falling asleep when I fall asleep. When I was my happiest 2 or 3 years ago and I was at my lowest, that's what I was doing every day, is I was waking up at about 9 o'clock every day so I could be at work by 9:45, and every night I was falling asleep somewhere between midnight and 3 a.m., which seems like a large window. I've done some research that says your sleep can deviate anywhere from 1 to 2 hours from where it is normally, so for all I know, I was operating well within the parameters of my human operating system, or maybe I was just fucking myself very slowly and incrementally over years. But that is when I actually lost the majority of my weight, so that's where we're going to be starting. Some of the things that are going to be changing while I'm doing this are getting up immediately after the first alarm. That's the hardest one, and that was the one that really started pushing me further and faster than any of the other things I had started doing at the time. Just make yourself get up. If you get up as soon as humanly possible, the second your alarm gets off, you're much more likely to actually stay awake throughout the rest of your day. Furthermore, if you do things like splashing your face with water, doing some physical activity, getting out in the sun, it can actually, I don't know what the fuck, if there's a chemical or what, but it'll actually keep you more awake and alert throughout the day and make it less likely that you will need a nap as the day progresses. Furthermore, another thing I read once was that eating immediately after you wake up can help to kind of train your body to be like, oh, this is awake time now. This is when we're supposed to, because it's like, oh, what's going on? We're eating now. Fantastic. Another thing that I'm going to be doing in the immediate future, granted, down the road, I really want to start getting into the intermittent fasting, and not even like the intense intermittent fasting. We mean just fitting everything into like that 8 or 9 hour window. It doesn't need to be extreme. We're not looking at 5 or 6 hour windows. We're not looking at entire days without eating. Not maybe down the road, but right now we're just trying to stabilize. So that's another thing. Our diet is going to change a little bit too. When I was losing weight, when I first lost weight and got all the way down to 163, I had actually started at like 245 pounds. And I made some very small and easy to make changes. I counted my calories and I only ate 2,000 calories. Now, I've read that for men, like, you know, that the whole 2,000 daily caloric intake is traditionally for women or smaller people. That's what I've read. Please don't quote me on that. So at the time, and that for men at the time, that it should be like they should be eating like 2,500 calories. So I thought to myself, well, if I only eat 2,000 calories a week, I'm going to be breaking even, losing a pound a week every single week. And lo and behold, I wasn't too far off the mark. By doing 2,000 calories a day, every single day, and not only that, eating whatever the hell I want. I'll tell you what I was eating here in a minute. But 2,000 calories every single day, and going on at least an hour walk at least once a day. Sometimes I would go on 2 walks, 2-hour walks, or 2.5-hour walks. It just really depends on what my day was like. That's all I was doing. I got down to 163 pounds in about 10 months. That's about 8 pounds a month. That's 80, 90 pounds. Fantastic. You know, not including that when I cut out soda, I lost like 10 or 15 pounds right then and there. Or like within like weeks of doing that. So pro tip for you guys, if you're drinking a lot of soda, switch it to diet soda or water and watch the pounds just fall off. It's fucking crazy. But no, when I was losing that weight, my diet, shit you not, daily consisted of a king-size payday and a white can of Monster. Sometimes it would be a sausage McMuffin and a white can of Monster. My lunch was almost always a Happy Meal from McDonald's with yogurt and a baby fry, which, fun fact, that baby fry that comes in your McDonald's kids meal is 100 fucking calories. 100 calories. You have to eat 5 side salads with no sauce to eat as many calories as that tiny ass baby fry in a thing of McDonald's, like, for children. Again, I am not in the wheelhouse of you should cut out food. If you like eating that food, eat that food. You just need to learn how to control the portions. Now, by this point, because both of those meals were floating somewhere at like the, I don't know, 400 to 600 calorie range, 400 to 700 calorie range. So if I was really lucky, by this point, I'd only eaten 1,200 calories, which wasn't much. Actually, now that I think about it, I think my breakfast usually sat at like 200 to 300 calories. So like usually I was only eating 800 to 1,000 calories, somewhere in that ballpark. And subsequently, for my evening meal, I had 1,000 calories that I could go, yeah, I'm going to have a bacon Whopper plain with a small fry and a Diet Coke. And that would be well within my meal count. And I'd be able to eat that. And that's the kind of stuff I was doing every single day. That my dinner was almost always the biggest meal. And not only that, it was almost always the meal where I really got to not really let loose, but let loose and enjoy what I wanted to eat. I wasn't doing any sort of special time frames or anything like that. I was just eating when I wanted to eat, making sure that I counted my calories, 2,000 calories, and at least an hour of walking every single day. Now, as I move forward, again, because right now it's about getting into the habits of things, so the walking is probably going to be a big thing. When winter rolls around is when I'm going to start switching my gears to more body weight exercises, because although I could go outside and walk around in the fucking winter snow, I 110% do not fucking want to. And I don't think any of you guys fucking want to. So that's not what we're going to do. But in the months leading up to this, there really needs to be that habit of working out. Now, again, going back to the whole sleeping and getting sunlight as soon as humanly possible, if you can stomach going out for a walk in the middle of winter, fucking do that shit. Not only that, I'm a big fan of the idea of doing things deliberately that make you uncomfortable. So if it makes you uncomfortable and you're willing to do that, do that. Or if you're just willing to get outside for the whole getting the sun on you to help you wake up in the morning, I would strongly urge you to do that as well, especially because during winter time, seasonal depression is a thing. And there are some workarounds for that. Actually, fuck it, just for funsies. If you're a fan of mushrooms, you can actually cut the stems off of those, leave the bulbs with the bottoms facing up, in like a windowsill, and over the course of a day, it'll actually absorb vitamin D. And at the end of the day, if you cook it in your food will actually be infused with vitamin D goodness and help combat depression. But yeah, no, getting outside and getting some sun, no matter the time of the year, is always good for you. But no, moving in towards winter, backpedaling, physical activity. Like I said, we're going to be starting with basic cardio, because I'm a lazy bitch. It's a fact. That's 110% what it is. And most people are like that. Most people don't want to put in the effort. Now, when I was skinnier, I was willing to put in the effort. And I was doing a shit ton of core exercises. I was fucking doing table sits and fucking crab walks. And I was planking for 2 minutes, shit like that. Like, I was really happy with myself. But I was also about 30 pounds lighter than I am now. And the thing is I feel it, and rather than working on being able to do it now, I'm like, fuck it, I'd rather just lose the weight. I have found that taking it easier on myself over months, it was a lot easier to lose weight than it was for me to just try to beat myself up over the course of a few months and lose shit tons of weight in a really unhealthy fashion. But yeah, moving into winter, we'll do more body weight exercises, specifically revolving around the core. I'm pretty sure I already mentioned that in my last video, but that's, neither here nor there. Furthermore, drug use. I was watching an episode of the Midnight Gospel, and it's in the very first episode. If you guys have not watched the Midnight Gospel, I would highly recommend it. But in one of the episodes, they're talking to the little president, or glasses man, who's voiced by Dr. Drew Pinsky, and one of the things he said that really stuck with me was the idea that there's no such thing as a good or bad drug. It's just the circumstances surrounding it. I really vibe with that, because in my headcanon, basically everything is a drug, for lack of a better word. Water is a drug, food is a drug. Most health nuts will tell you that anything you buy at a McDonald's or a Burger King is a fucking drug. It's so hyped up, it's so packed full of trans fats and salt and sugar and all this shit, which I know, as a fat boy who loves eating out and is to the point that I am refusing to cut it out of my diet in lieu of just calorie counting. Make no mistake, I love this stuff, but it's a fact. It's a legitimate fact. This stuff is designed to make you want to eat it. Going back to diet and thinking about drug use now, tying it to that, I've even read about how one of the things that you can do, like a lot of people do their juice cleanses and whatever, which are, in my opinion, overarchingly stupid, but they'll talk about, oh, I feel so much better, completely overlooking the fact that they've just completely cut out a bunch of shit out of their life. Furthermore, I've read a little bit about how if you do juice cleanses or things like that, that after a couple days, you'll find that things like broccoli and carrots and cauliflower and things like that start to taste better, because you're getting used to a drastically reduced salt and sugar intake diet. So, something to think about. But I've been reading about how drug use in general, specifically with marijuana, that's my drug of choice, as well as fucking everything else, tobacco, alcohol, some harder drugs I probably shouldn't talk about at the moment. But I've read about how these things can have, although they, for a lot of people, they are escapes. For a lot of people, they are band-aids to a situation that they don't know how to fix themselves. For me, that is a lot of it for me. I'm a comfort eater. I'm an addict. I do these things to mask my chemicals and make myself feel better. But one of the things I've read about recently is that specifically with marijuana, that and BPD, that although it can ameliorate some symptoms, it can actually exacerbate other symptoms, and that just simply won't do. So again, for the next month or so, and I don't know how much editing I'm going to do on this video, if anything, I'll see here in a minute. For the next month or so, we're not going to be doing any drugs, which is going to suck. It's going to suck dick. We're not, and when I say drugs, I don't mean food. That's going to be a completely different ballpark. We're going to handle that differently. But looking through everything, we are going to pick a time. I'm thinking about getting up at about 9 a.m. That'll be the day. That'll be the time, the main time that my alarm is set. Now, over the next several weeks, we'll find out whether or not my body can handle that, but we're going to be trying to be getting up at 9 a.m. Within moments of that, we're talking about making our bed, drinking a glass of water, going outside for a walk, eating breakfast, knocking that shit out of the park right out of the gate as soon as humanly possible. Moving forward, we're not going to be doing any marijuana or tobacco for the next several weeks, which is going to be one of the hardest things for me personally, as, again, I really, really enjoy them, but I really would like a baseline of who the fuck I am as a person before I keep delving into those. Our diet is going to be, we're allowed to eat whenever the hell we want. Now, ideally, we'll cut out eating a couple hours before sleep. On a good day, I'll be falling asleep at around midnight, so we're going to say at about 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, no more, especially liquids. You know, the older I get, I am 100, like, I'll smash, like, 3 glasses of water without thinking about it, and I'll wake up all night, like, why the fuck am I pissing so much? Oh, yeah, you're fucking stupid and drink 6 glasses of water. So yeah, trying to cutting out eating at about 10. We're looking at a 2,000 calorie diet. If you are a woman or if you're a smaller person and trying to follow along with what I'm doing, maybe just a few hundred less calories. I think it was Chris Hyria. I wish I could fucking remember now. He's one of the guys I'm actually following quite a bit to change up some of the things I'm doing. I know he gets up at 9 a.m. To eat, and he actually gets up at 9 a.m. for his workouts and stuff. One of the things he talks about with the calorie consumption is only moving things about 300 calories. So realistically speaking, I should be looking at like 2,200 calories. If you are a small person, then you should be looking at like 1,700 calories. I'm in the wheelhouse of just making a clean 500, eke out a full pound over the course of a week. If you could, even if you're doing no extra exercise, if you can eat that 1,500 calorie diet, that 2,000 calorie diet, and get a 45-minute walk in, you will lose weight, guaranteed. I know because I've done it. Again, physical, we're going to eat, again, we're going to eat whatever the fuck we want. 2,000 calories, don't give a shit. If you want to change that up, that's on you, and I think that you will find that over the course of time, you will either make those changes or get really fucking used to eating like a single pizza for an entire day, which is something I've done. Again, physical activity, we're looking at just walking for now. Just walking, that's it. I've actually read studies, and I just ripped a massive fart. I've read studies that say that doing 30 to 45 to an hour, 60 minutes of cardio, just walking, can boost your metabolism for the entire day. That essentially it tricks your body into thinking, oh, hey, he's going to be doing a lot of extra work today, so we need to be burning extra calories. Is there any evidence to that? Have I done any fancy tracking with apps? No, I have not. But again, I used to be 245, got down to 163, and that's exactly how I did it. So it's how I'm going to continue doing it for a while. Again, until we start hitting the winter months and it's necessary for me to be doing those body weight exercises indoors and shit like that. And then again, finally, drug use. No drugs. Pretty simple. I know I've already brought that up, and I know I'm talking in circles, but I felt like it was necessary to just go through the whole thing again. Well, moving forward, I'm going to be doing videos about these things specifically, like the pros and cons, the very simple breakdowns of things, my personal beliefs, anecdotes, things of that nature. If not for other people's use, then at least my own, to calcify it within myself, because again, it is something I have 110% done in the past, and I just need to go back to following a formula that already worked for me before. So anyways, that's about it. Remember, guys, it's the right person in the wrong place that can make all the difference. And we're going to be reloading our checkpoint in 3, 2,